Okay, here's the follow-up to our first video, shoddy mechanic work. And boy, did we find a lot of shoddy mechanic work. This is our 4.3 that's torn down. And you can see it's a milky, nasty mess, right? I don't even know where to start with the crappy workmanship that we found on this. But I guess as we're pointing at the bottom of the engine, I'm gonna start here. The oil pump was on and it was tight, felt like it was torqued. But this bolt is the only one we tested. It wasn't torqued. That's the main bearing bolt. So it was loose, which means somebody's been into this engine and caused some problems. Another thing is, if we go, we're trying to find damage, right? So we want to look at the cylinder bores, and we can see the bore down in there, the rust. If my phone would focus, it'd be great, but it's an iPhone and I don't like it. It's not a very good quality phone. Anyway, there's a lot of scratches and a lot of rust, and a lot of buildup, a lot of problems in there. Rotate that motor, pull that pin out, please. Just grab that pin and pull it out. And grab the motor and just spin it over gently. It ain't gonna flip over on you like it did before. Keep going. All right, so this is the top side of it. Cylinder damage, rust problems, lots of rusted water lines, been leaking for a long time. Damage throughout. Every single board has got some kind of damage to it. The reason for that is, just as I suspected, this appears to be a Mercruiser cylinder head that somebody put on, and this is the head gasket. Looks like a newer head gasket, and it's not blown. The head gasket is not blown anywhere. It looks fine. We've got some water, damage inside the head, but that's probably reversion from the other cylinders from the other side. There is signs of overheat. It's gotten a little hot, but it's not blown. So that head wasn't a problem. We go to this head that's been replaced, and look at the head gasket. And I mean, it's blown out bigger than shit, right? It's blown out on 2 cylinders. So it had a blown head gasket. These head bolts were also loose. And this one, we don't know if it's a cracked head or not, but it definitely cooked the head gasket. That's unfortunate because somebody could have got to it and replaced the head gasket and saved the engine. Some other things we noticed, the intake manifold, one side of the intake manifold was extremely loose, and they don't torque very much, but one side was loose, so we were hopeful we were just gonna find maybe a blown intake gasket. The intake manifold gasket is right there. It's a silicone embossed gasket, which is good stuff. But look at that. Whoever bolted it together got a piece of debris caught in the water seal area. And now that may not have leaked, down inside the engine, but it would have certainly started leaking on the top of the engine. We also found water plugs on the cylinder head leaking. This one primarily on the Mercruiser head. That water plug was leaking. And just a slew of other crap. I mean, everything was just loose and just shoddy workmanship. Burned head gasket, missing exhaust clamps, melted exhaust hoses, water in the cylinders. Every one of these cylinders had water in them. And this engine needs to be rebuilt or replaced. And that's the only repair that would be okay for this one. Replace it, get a rebuilt engine, put it in there and be done.